Now, there's been a startling development at the floods inquiry with revelations a private detective has been interrogating potential witnesses. Reporter Leonie Mellor is covering the inquiry. Leonie, this seems to all be getting nasty. What's it all about?
Well, Bill, huge intrigue down here. It's emerged that a private investigator hired by Maurice Blackburn, which is mounting a class action, went to Somerset Dam last night to interview a man by the name of Mr Dagan. Now, Mr Dagan was a gate operator at the dam. His name came up at the inquiry yesterday because he's effectively been on long service leave ever since the floods. He still lives at Somerset Dam but hasn't worked there since. Now, initially, lawyers for SEQ Water claimed that this detective, Mr Bob Munt, went there misrepresenting himself as someone from the Commission, that he was taking statements for the inquiry, and they were very angry about that. In just the last few minutes alone, they have withdrawn that allegation, but they still are very angry, saying that this behaviour is simply not acceptable and that they should desist from interviewing potential witnesses. Well, Maurice Blackburn too, they're also very angry and are demanding an apology from SEQ Water's lawyers. Now, Commissioner Holmes, she's asked that affidavits from all parties be presented by 10 o'clock tomorrow. All made for another very eventful day down here as two dam bosses took the stand. Dan Spiller and his boss Barry Dineen were at the forefront of telling the public what to expect as a massive amount of water was rushing towards Brisbane. But when it came to explaining discrepancies in a crucial report on the flood, they took a back seat. In fact, Mr Spiller had only a cursory look on his bus trip home. Mr Dineen didn't read it at all.
I've put all that on the public record now, and I'm very comfortable with what we did and how we performed through that period.
He said he focused on the Commission's interim report, which also found dam operators were in a strategy known as W3, aimed at protecting Brisbane on Saturday, January 8. But Mr Dineen and other water bosses didn't believe it kicked in until Monday. I didn't look in detail, mainly because I knew the Commission had looked very closely at strategies, facts and figures. I wasn't in a position, I felt, to question what other experts had looked at. Commissioner Holmes asked Mr Spiller, did it ever cross your mind that perhaps there is a discrepancy and it should be pointed out? To be honest, it never occurred to me that a discrepancy would emerge. Mr Spiller also told of frustrations in preparing a briefing for Minister Stephen Robertson. He said SEQ Water staff were not enthusiastic about explaining what had happened. They were not as forthcoming with information as we thought appropriate. Minister Robertson is expected to give evidence tomorrow. Leonie Mellor, 10 News.